Have you ever felt overwhelmed by trying to help everyone around you? It's like juggling too many balls, isn't it? You start dropping them and suddenly you're the one who needs help. But what if I told you that sometimes helping everyone might not be the best idea? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we unravel life's complexities with a touch of wisdom. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to join our growing community. Imagine this: you're at a beach and you see a stranded dolphin. Your heart tells you to help it back to the sea. So you do. But then you notice another stranded dolphin and another and another. Soon you're exhausted and there are still more dolphins in need. Sound familiar? That's the essence of today's discussion. We often think helping everyone is the pinnacle of compassion. But what if I told you it could sometimes lead to burnout and unintended consequences? In this video, we'll explore why it's crucial to reassess our approach to helping others, drawing insights from the wisdom of Buddhism. Picture this scenario: you're on a plane and the oxygen masks drop. What do they tell you? Secure your own mask before assisting others. Why? Because you can't help anyone if you're unconscious. It's a simple yet profound reminder of the importance of self-care. Now let's dive into the heart of the matter. Have you ever found yourself saying yes to every request, even when you're stretched thin? It's like trying to fill a bucket with a leak at the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it never seems enough. But what if we learn to patch the leak instead of pouring more water? Today, we'll explore the paradox of altruism and how sometimes the best way to help others is by setting boundaries. It's not about being selfish. It's about preserving your energy to make a more significant impact where it truly matters. So, join us on this journey as we uncover the power of selective assistance and the art of saying no with compassion. Together, let's strive for a balanced approach to helping others, one that nourishes both the giver and the receiver. And remember, our goal for this video is to reach 100 likes. So hit that thumbs up button and let's spread the message of mindful compassion far and wide. Lesson 1: Understanding the dangers of overextending help. In a world that values kindness and generosity, it may seem counterintuitive to talk about the dangers of helping too much. But think about it. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by trying to assist everyone around you? Have you noticed that sometimes your good intentions lead to unintended consequences? These are the questions that lead us to explore the idea of overextending help. Imagine a friend who constantly asks for your assistance with various tasks. At first, you're happy to lend a hand, but as time goes on, you realize that your friend's dependency on you is draining your own energy and resources. This scenario illustrates how excessive helping can turn into a burden, both for the helper and the person being helped. In Buddhism, there's a concept called idiot compassion, which refers to the tendency to help others without considering the long-term consequences. It's like giving someone a fish without teaching them how to fish for themselves. While it may feel good in the moment, it doesn't empower the other person to become self-reliant. Overextending help can also lead to resentment and burnout. When we constantly put others' needs above our own, we neglect our own well-being, leading to feelings of exhaustion and frustration. It's like trying to fill someone else's cup while our own cup remains empty. Eventually, we have nothing left to give. Moreover, excessive helping can foster a sense of entitlement in the person receiving assistance. They may come to expect help without making any effort to solve their own problems. This dynamic creates an unhealthy dependency that perpetuates the cycle of helplessness. In the broader context of society, overextending help can reinforce systems of oppression and inequality. When certain groups are consistently marginalized and dependent on others for assistance, it perpetuates a power imbalance that undermines their autonomy and dignity. Recognizing the dangers of overextending help doesn't mean abandoning compassion altogether. Instead, it's about finding a balance between being kind and setting boundaries. It's about understanding that true compassion includes both empathy and wisdom. By acknowledging our limitations and prioritizing self-care, we can avoid the pitfalls of excessive helping. We can learn to say no when necessary and redirect our energy towards more sustainable forms of assistance. In doing so, we not only protect our own well-being but also empower others to become more self-sufficient. In the next part, we'll delve deeper into the teachings of Buddhism to explore how we can cultivate a more balanced approach to helping others. Lesson 2: The Paradox of Altruism in Buddhism. In Buddhism, the idea of altruism, or selfless concern for the well-being of others, is deeply revered. But there's a subtle paradox hidden within this noble concept. While helping others is encouraged, it's also emphasized that one must be mindful of their own well-being. Imagine a scenario. You see a friend struggling with a heavy load. Your instinct may be to rush to their aid, lifting the burden off their shoulders. This act of kindness feels natural and fulfilling. However, in Buddhism, there's a gentle reminder that excessive help, while well-intentioned, can lead to unintended consequences. The paradox lies in the balance between altruism and self-care. Buddhism teaches that true altruism arises from a place of inner peace and strength. If we neglect our own well-being in the pursuit of helping others, we risk burning out or becoming resentful. The Buddha himself spoke of the importance of self-care, using the metaphor of the oxygen mask on a plane. Before assisting others, we must ensure our own well-being. This isn't selfishness, it's wisdom. Consider the image of a lotus flower, revered in Buddhist symbolism. The lotus emerges from muddy waters, yet it remains unstained by its surroundings. Similarly, while engaging in compassionate acts, we must maintain clarity and equanimity. Buddhism teaches that our intention behind our actions is paramount. Are we helping others out of genuine compassion, or are we seeking validation or avoiding our own discomfort? Moreover, the practice of mindfulness plays a crucial role. By staying present and aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can discern when our help is truly beneficial and when it's driven by ego or obligation. The paradox of altruism in Buddhism invites us to reflect on our motivations and boundaries. It encourages us to cultivate a compassionate heart while also honoring our own needs. Ultimately, by embracing this paradox, we can become more effective and sustainable helpers. We learn to offer assistance with clarity, humility, and genuine compassion, enriching both the lives of others and our own inner landscape. Lesson 3: The Importance of Boundaries in Helping Others. In the intricate tapestry of life, boundaries act as the threads that weave relationships together. They define the space between self and others, guiding the flow of interaction and support. Yet, when it comes to helping others, maintaining these boundaries can sometimes feel like trying to navigate a maze in the dark. In the realm of Buddhism, understanding the significance of boundaries is akin to discovering a hidden treasure that enriches both giver and receiver. Imagine a garden where each plant requires just the right amount of water to thrive. Too much and they drown. Too little and they wither. Similarly, setting boundaries in helping others ensures that our assistance nourishes rather than overwhelms. It's like offering a cup of water to a thirsty traveler without depleting the well from which it springs. Boundaries create a container for our compassion, allowing it to flow freely while preserving its potency. In Buddhism, the concept of boundaries is deeply intertwined with the practice of loving kindness, metta. Just as a gardener tends to their plants with care, we nurture others with the same gentleness and discernment. Boundaries become the fences that safeguard our inner garden, protecting it from the trampling feet of overextension. Through this lens, saying no to excessive demands isn't a rejection but a recognition of our limitations, a humble acknowledgement that we, too, are human. Picture a compassionate heart as a radiant sun, emanating warmth and light to all it touches. Yet, Even the sun must set, allowing the moon to rise and cast its gentle glow. Similarly, boundaries in helping others allow us to replenish our own energy reserves, preventing burnout and fostering sustainability. It's about balancing the outflow of compassion with the inflow of self-care, ensuring that both giver and receiver remain nourished. In the bustling marketplace of life, we encounter countless opportunities to extend a helping hand. Yet, not every outstretched palm is meant to be grasped. Boundaries serve as the compass that guides us towards those in genuine need, steering us away from the siren call of obligation. By honoring our boundaries, we honor the intrinsic value of our assistance, bestowing it where it can truly make a difference. Like the banks of a river that shape its course, boundaries channel the flow of our actions in helping others. Without them, compassion risks flooding its banks, spilling over into areas where it may do more harm than good. Through the practice of mindfulness, we cultivate the awareness to recognize when our boundaries are being tested, gently guiding us back to center. In the dance of giving and receiving, boundaries serve as the choreographer, orchestrating the movements with grace and precision. They teach us when to step forward with open arms and when to gracefully retreat, allowing others the space to stand on their own feet. Boundaries, far from being barriers, are the bridges that connect us in authentic and meaningful ways, fostering relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Just as a sturdy fence protects a garden from marauding wildlife, boundaries shield our well-being from the onslaught of excessive demands. They are the armor that safeguards our emotional and mental health, preserving our capacity to offer genuine assistance. By setting clear boundaries, we communicate our needs with clarity and assertiveness, fostering relationships grounded in honesty and integrity. In the symphony of life, boundaries are the notes that lend harmony to our interactions with others. They allow us to strike the delicate balance between selflessness and self-preservation, ensuring that our acts of kindness stem from a place of genuine compassion rather than compulsion. Through the lens of Buddhism, boundaries become not barriers but gateways to deeper connection and understanding. Boundaries in helping others are like signposts along the winding path of compassion, guiding us towards authentic and sustainable forms of assistance. They remind us that saying yes to others often means saying no to ourselves, a delicate balancing act that requires courage and discernment. By honoring our boundaries, we honor the sanctity of our own well-being, nurturing the seeds of compassion within ourselves and others. Lesson 4: Learning to say no with compassion. Have you ever found yourself saying yes to helping someone, even when you knew it stretched you thin? It's like when a friend asks for a favor, and though you're swamped, you still agree, hoping you'll manage somehow. But what if constantly saying yes isn't always the best choice? Imagine you're juggling too many balls, and adding one more risks dropping them all. That's where saying no with compassion comes in. Welcome back to Wisdom Woven, where we unravel life's complexities with insight and mindfulness. Before we delve deeper, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Learning to say no isn't about being selfish. It's about recognizing your limits. Picture a cup overflowing with water. If you keep pouring without pause, it spills over, wasted. Similarly, when we overextend ourselves, our energy and resources diminish, leaving us unable to help effectively. In Buddhism, saying no with compassion means understanding that by preserving our well-being, we're better equipped to help others. It's like putting on your oxygen mask first before assisting others on a plane. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential for sustainable assistance. Setting boundaries isn't easy. It requires courage and self-awareness. But just as a fence protects a garden, boundaries safeguard our emotional and mental health. It's about respecting yourself and others enough to communicate honestly. Saying no doesn't mean rejecting someone. It means honoring your needs while still showing empathy. Think of it this way. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your impact. But when you say no selectively, you preserve your energy for meaningful contributions. It's about quality over quantity, ensuring your assistance is impactful and genuine. Compassion isn't just about giving endlessly. It's also about knowing when to pause and recharge. Like a river that flows and ebbs, our capacity to help fluctuates. Saying no when necessary isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom and self-care. Remember, saying no with compassion isn't about rejecting others. It's about honoring yourself. It's like tending to your own garden, nurturing your well-being so you can bloom and share your abundance with others. In the next part, we'll explore the principle of skillful means in Buddhism and how it guides us in navigating complex situations with wisdom and compassion. Stay tuned for more insights on balancing altruism with self-preservation. Lesson 5: The principle of skillful means in Buddhism. In Buddhism, there's a fascinating concept called skillful means. It's like having a toolbox full of different tools, each suited to a specific task. Just as you wouldn't use a hammer to fix a leaky faucet, in life we must discern the right approach for each situation. Skillful means encourage us to be flexible and adaptive in how we help others. It's not about following rigid rules, but about using wisdom and compassion to guide our actions. Imagine you're helping a friend who's going through a tough time. Maybe they're feeling overwhelmed and don't know what to do. Skillful means would suggest that offering practical advice might be helpful, but sometimes just listening without judgment could be even more beneficial. It's about understanding what the person truly needs in that moment and responding accordingly. In simpler terms, skillful means teach us to be like water, flowing and adapting to the contours of the situation. It's not about forcing our help onto others, but about finding the most effective way to support them. Just as water finds its way around obstacles, skillful means enable us to navigate the complexities of human relationships with grace and sensitivity. One key aspect of skillful means is understanding that what works for one person may not work for another. Each individual is unique, with their own set of experiences, preferences, and needs. Therefore, a one-size-fits-all approach to helping is rarely effective. Instead, we must be willing to tailor our assistance to suit the specific circumstances and personalities involved. Think of skillful means as the art of customization. It's about crafting personalized solutions rather than relying on generic advice or actions. Just as a tailor measures and adjusts clothing to fit perfectly, skillful means involve customizing our support to fit the exact dimensions of the situation. Moreover, skillful means encourage us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions. Sometimes, what seems helpful in the moment may actually be harmful in the bigger picture. For example, giving someone money to alleviate their immediate financial struggles might provide temporary relief, but it could also perpetuate a cycle of dependency. Skillful means prompt us to think beyond the immediate gratification and consider the broader implications of our assistance. At its core, skillful means embody the principle of wise discernment. It's about knowing when to act and when to refrain, when to speak and when to listen, when to offer help and when to step back. It requires a deep understanding of both ourselves and others, as well as a willingness to learn and adapt as circumstances evolve. In essence, skillful means remind us that helping others is not just about good intentions. It's about effective action. It's not enough to simply want to help. We must also have the wisdom to know how best to help. By cultivating skillful means, we can become more effective agents of positive change in the world, making a meaningful difference in the lives of those around us. Lesson 6: Balancing compassion with self-preservation. Do you ever feel drained after helping others? It's like you've poured all your energy into someone else's cup, leaving yours empty. That's because while compassion is essential, so is self-preservation. Picture this. You're on an airplane, and the flight attendants tell you to secure your oxygen mask before helping others. Why? Because you can't assist anyone if you're unconscious. This analogy holds true in life too. We often hear about the importance of compassion in Buddhism. But what about taking care of ourselves? It's not selfish. It's necessary. Just like a candle can't light up a room if it's burnt out, we can't truly help others if we neglect our own well-being. Buddhism teaches us to find a balance between compassion and self-preservation, like walking a tightrope between two pillars. Think of yourself as a tree. You provide shade, shelter, and oxygen to others, but you also need nourishment, water, and sunlight to thrive. Without taking care of your roots, you'll wither away. Similarly, without nurturing yourself, you'll burn out, unable to offer genuine help to anyone. But how do we strike this balance? It starts with setting boundaries. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're guardrails that protect us from overextending ourselves. Just as a river needs banks to flow smoothly, we need boundaries to navigate life's currents. Imagine you have a jar of marbles representing your energy. Each time you help someone, you give away a marble. If you don't replenish those marbles, you'll run out, unable to help anyone, including yourself. So, it's crucial to replenish your energy through self-care practices like meditation, exercise, and spending time with loved ones. Remember, you're not a superhero. Even superheroes have their limits. It's okay to say no sometimes. Saying no isn't a rejection. It's a form of self-respect. Just as a flower closes its petals at night to rest, you too can say no to recharge. In Buddhism, there's a concept called right intention. It means acting with kindness and compassion, but also with wisdom and discernment. Sometimes the most compassionate thing we can do is to step back and allow others to find their own solutions. Have you ever heard of the metaphor of the empty cup? It teaches us that we must empty our cup to receive more. Similarly, we must empty ourselves of ego, guilt, and obligation to truly help others. When our cup overflows with compassion and wisdom, we can offer genuine support without draining ourselves. Self-preservation doesn't mean selfishness. It means recognizing your worth and taking care of yourself so you can continue to be a source of light and love in the world. Just as a lighthouse guides ships safely to shore, your well-being guides others to safety. So, next time you're tempted to pour from an empty cup, remember to fill your own first. By balancing compassion with self-preservation, you'll not only help others more effectively, but also cultivate inner peace and joy. Lesson 7: Cultivating Equanimity in Helping Others. In the vast landscape of compassion, there lies a hidden gem: equanimity. It's like a steady hand guiding a delicate balance between empathy and self-preservation. In Buddhism, equanimity is revered as a profound virtue, offering a sanctuary amidst the tumultuous seas of emotion. Picture a serene lake, its surface untouched by the ripples of passing storms. Equanimity is akin to this calm expanse, undisturbed by the winds of favoritism or the waves of attachment. It's a state of inner peace that allows us to extend help without losing ourselves in the process. But how do we cultivate such equanimity? It begins with understanding that our capacity to help is finite, like a cup filled to the brim. When we pour ourselves endlessly into others' needs, we risk emptying our own cup, leaving us drained and depleted. Equanimity teaches us to recognize the boundaries of our capacity with compassion, understanding that saying no doesn't make us selfish, but rather wise custodians of our well-being. It's about honoring ourselves as much as we honor those we seek to assist. Imagine a garden where each flower receives just the right amount of sunlight and water, not too much, not too little. Equanimity is the gardener who tends to this balance, ensuring that every living being flourishes in harmony. Through mindfulness practice, we can cultivate equanimity by observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment or attachment. Like a mountain unmoved by passing clouds, we learn to remain steadfast amidst life's fluctuations, neither clinging to joy nor resisting sorrow. Equanimity doesn't mean indifference. Rather, it's a profound form of caring that transcends personal bias. It's the impartiality of a compassionate heart, embracing all beings with equal warmth and concern. In the journey of helping others, equanimity serves as our compass, guiding us through the labyrinth of human suffering. It reminds us that we cannot save everyone, nor should we try. Instead, we offer our assistance where it's most needed, knowing that our efforts ripple outward in ways beyond our comprehension. Just as a tree provides shade to all who seek refuge beneath its branches, equanimity offers solace to both giver and receiver alike. It's a gentle reminder that we are all interconnected, each thread woven into the fabric of existence. So, as we navigate the path of compassion, let us embrace the gift of equanimity, allowing it to anchor us in times of uncertainty and uplift us in moments of despair. For in its tranquil embrace, we find the courage to help others without losing ourselves along the way. Lesson 8: Recognizing the limits of our capacity to help. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the weight of the world's problems, wanting to help everyone but realizing you simply can't? It's a common dilemma, especially in a world where suffering seems endless. But in Buddhism, there's a profound understanding that we have limitations, and recognizing them is key to effective compassion. Imagine you have a cup of water, the small, finite, and can only hold so much. Similarly, we all have limited emotional, physical, and financial resources. Understanding this doesn't make us selfish. It makes us realistic. We must fill our cup before we can offer from it. Consider the metaphor of the oxygen mask on an airplane. In case of an emergency, you're advised to secure your own mask before helping others. Why? Because if you're incapacitated, you can't assist anyone else. This simple analogy illustrates the importance of self-care and self-preservation. Buddhism teaches us to prioritize our well-being without guilt. It's not about abandoning others but recognizing that we're most helpful when we're balanced and grounded. Taking time for self-care isn't selfish. It's essential for sustainable compassion. Think of a candle. Can only give light until it burns out. Similarly, if we exhaust ourselves trying to help everyone, we risk burning out. Recognizing our limits isn't a weakness. It's a strength. It allows us to serve others more effectively in the long run. Imagine a tree that gives shade and fruit. If it gives too much, too fast, it withers and dies. Our capacity to help is like that tree. We must nourish ourselves to continue bearing fruit for others. In Buddhism, there's a concept called Idappaccayata, which means dependent origination. It teaches us that everything is interconnected and interdependent. Recognizing our limits honors this truth by acknowledging our place in the web of existence. Consider the story of the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin. Despite her boundless compassion, she realized she couldn't save everyone. Instead, she vowed to alleviate suffering wherever she could, understanding that even small acts of kindness ripple outwards. In the end, it's not about how many people we help, but how deeply we connect with each person. Quality over quantity. By recognizing our limits, we can offer genuine, meaningful assistance to those within our reach. So, take a moment to reflect on your own cup. How full is it? Are you honoring your limits? Remember, it's okay to say no, to prioritize yourself, and to focus on sustainable compassion. In doing so, you honor not only yourself but also the interconnectedness of all beings. Lesson 9: Redirecting energy towards sustainable help. Have you ever felt like you're running on empty, trying to help everyone around you? It's like being on a never-ending treadmill, right? Well, in Buddhism, there's a concept that might just change the game for you. It's about redirecting your energy towards sustainable help. Let's break it down. Imagine you have a bucket, and every time you help someone, you pour a bit of water from your bucket into theirs. Sounds noble, right? But here's the catch. If you keep pouring from your bucket without refilling it, eventually you'll run dry. That's when burnout happens. So what's the solution? In Buddhism, they emphasize the importance of filling your own bucket first. It's like putting on your oxygen mask before assisting others on a plane. You have to take care of yourself before you can effectively help others. That means nurturing your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Now, this doesn't mean you should become selfish or uncaring. It's about finding balance. Think of it as investing in yourself so you can continue to be a source of support for others. When your bucket is full, you have more to give without depleting yourself. But how do you fill your bucket? Well, it's different for everyone. For some, it might be practicing mindfulness through meditation or engaging in hobbies that bring joy. For others, it could be seeking support from friends or professionals when needed. The key is to be intentional about self-care. Make it a priority just like you would with helping others. Remember, you can't pour from an empty bucket. Now, let's talk about sustainable help. Instead of spreading yourself thin trying to solve everyone's problems, focus on where you can make the most impact. It's like tending to a few plants in your garden rather than trying to water every single blade of grass in the park. Ask yourself, where can I make the most meaningful difference? Maybe it's volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring a struggling student, or supporting a friend through a tough time. By directing your energy towards specific causes or individuals, you can make a more significant and lasting impact. But here's the beauty of it. When you focus your efforts, you're not only helping others, you're also replenishing your own bucket. It becomes a cycle of giving and receiving, nourishing both yourself and those you assist. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the urge to help everyone, take a step back and remember the wisdom of sustainable help. Fill your bucket, focus your energy, and watch as your capacity to make a difference grows stronger than ever before. In the end, it's not about doing it all, it's about doing what matters most in a way that's sustainable for you and those you care about. So go ahead, take care of yourself, and let your light shine bright for the world. Lesson 10: Embracing the power of selective assistance. Helping everyone may seem noble, but it's not always practical. Imagine a garden with countless plants needing water. You only have one watering can. You pour water on all the plants, but you end up spreading it too thin, and none of the plants thrive. Now, consider focusing your attention on a few plants, nurturing them with care. These plants blossom beautifully, enriching the entire garden. This analogy illustrates the essence of selective assistance. In Buddhism, selective assistance aligns with the principle of wise discernment. It's about recognizing where our efforts can have the most significant impact and directing our energy there. By prioritizing our assistance, we ensure that our help is meaningful and sustainable. Selective assistance doesn't mean turning a blind eye to those in need. Instead, it's a deliberate choice to channel our resources where they can make a genuine difference. Just as a gardener tends to certain plants to ensure their growth, we can focus on specific individuals or causes that resonate with us deeply. By embracing selective assistance, we avoid burnout and maintain our ability to help others in the long run. When we spread ourselves too thin, we risk exhaustion and resentment, which ultimately hinders our capacity to offer genuine support. It's essential to set boundaries and prioritize self-care when practicing selective assistance. We cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of ourselves ensures that we have the energy and resilience to continue helping others effectively. Selective assistance also allows us to leverage our unique strengths and talents. Each of us has distinct abilities and passions that we can use to make a positive impact. By focusing on areas where we excel, we can maximize our contributions to the world. In Buddhist teachings, the concept of selective assistance is closely tied to the notion of interconnectedness. We recognize that by helping a few, we indirectly benefit the entire web of existence. Just as a stone creates ripples when thrown into a pond, our acts of kindness reverberate through the world, touching lives in ways we may never fully comprehend. Moreover, selective assistance encourages collaboration and community involvement. Instead of shouldering the burden alone, we can work together with others who share our values and goals. Through collective action, we amplify our impact and create lasting change. By embracing selective assistance, we honor the dignity and autonomy of those we seek to help. Rather than imposing our solutions, we empower individuals to take ownership of their lives and pursue their own paths to flourishing. In summary, selective assistance is a mindful approach to helping others that prioritizes effectiveness, sustainability, and respect for autonomy. By focusing our efforts where they can make the most significant difference, we contribute to the well-being of individuals, communities, and the world at large. Conclusion. In this final part, let's wrap up our journey into the realm of helping others and understanding the wisdom woven within the fabric of Buddhism. Throughout this video, we've explored the intricate balance between compassion and self-preservation, recognizing the importance of setting boundaries while extending a helping hand. At its core, Buddhism teaches us to embrace compassion for all beings, but it also emphasizes the necessity of discernment in how we offer our assistance. We've learned that indiscriminate help can lead to burnout and harm, both to ourselves and to those we intend to support. Remember, it's okay to say no. Saying no doesn't mean we lack compassion. It means we understand our limitations and respect our own well-being. By setting boundaries, we create space for genuine and sustainable assistance. The principle of skillful means reminds us to adapt our approach to each situation, understanding that what works in one instance may not be suitable in another. Flexibility and discernment are key as we navigate the complexities of helping others. As we've seen, cultivating equanimity allows us to maintain a balanced perspective, neither getting overwhelmed by the suffering of others nor becoming indifferent to it. Equanimity enables us to offer help from a place of stability and clarity. It's crucial to recognize our own limitations. We are not omnipotent beings capable of solving every problem. By acknowledging our boundaries, we can focus our energy on where it will be most effective. Redirecting our energy towards sustainable help means investing our resources wisely, prioritizing long-term solutions over temporary fixes. It's about empowering others to help themselves rather than creating dependency. Selective assistance involves choosing our battles wisely, directing our efforts where they are most needed and where we can make the greatest impact. This strategic approach ensures that our help is meaningful and effective. In conclusion, the path of helping others is not a simple one, but it is one worth walking. By weaving together the threads of compassion, discernment, and self-awareness, we can navigate this path with wisdom and grace. Let's remember to be kind to ourselves as we strive to be of service to others. And as we conclude, let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons we've learned and how we can apply them in our own lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the wisdom of Buddhism. May we all continue to grow in compassion and understanding as we strive to make the world a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven for more insightful content on mindfulness, compassion, and personal growth. Until next time, may you be well, may you be happy, and may you be at peace.